Mein Gott in Himmel. The United States Postal Service is so bad right now. So completely in the dumpster. Which is why I'm reviewing these. Hi, I'm Darth Paradigm. I'm doing a comparison of the Ultrasabers Lost Gray and the Ultrasabers Fulcrum. The Lost Gray is 12 and 3/8 inches long, and the Fulcrum clocks in at 14 3/8 inches long. I have them both kitted out with the same exact soundboard. The Obsidian V4 with the requisite sound fonts. They both use the Consular Green with the Arctic Blue for Flash on Clash. And they both have 32-inch blades. The Lost Gray has a custom saber shop variety, and the Fulcrum has a mid-grade ultra edge blade. Yeah. So, differences. Well, main difference in the pommel is the Lost Gray lacks the little black ring thing you do. Other than that, the pommels are pretty much identical. The hulls, I guess the hulls of the hilt holes, whatever you want to call them, the major portion of the hilts are similarly shaped. The beveled section for the Fulcrum is much deeper into the hilt, whereas with the Lost Gray it occurs before the lens. I went with the little blue, cheap-ass, plasticky looking lenses. It's kind of cool that the groove section and the holders of each of these are kind of similar lengths and similar designs. They both hold, 1-inch blades, so they don't differentiate that much. Let's turn this way. We'll turn you that way. I went with the classic switch with the non-illuminated AV silver switch. The alternative is a black one with the silver picked out in the little groove sections, which costs less for some reason. So they add they add paint or anodizing or what have you, and that costs less than just putting a plain one. So that doesn't make sense to me, but it does to them, and that's what matters. But on the Lost Gray, you don't get the whole switch box. You just get the AV switch, which I actually kind of like this for its simplicity, but I like both of them. Opposite the AV switch on the Lost Gray, you have a lens, and you do as well on the Fulcrum. It's just down a little bit further, and there's an extra. Oop, got a little bit of a stain right there. All right, we'll take care of that right away. Okay, so I've got like an extra little greeble heel here, and this thing kind of unscrews and comes off and serves no purpose other than aesthetically looking pretty darn cool. There's also this greeble down here where the lens is on the Lost Gray. The Fulcrum actually has one of these things. Mine came with a tiny little blemish right there. No big deal. I've been meaning to get in there with some paint and just touch it up, but I'm too lazy to do that. One of the significant differences between the two hilts is that, if you will stay, okay, the Fulcrum has the bunny ears, the requisite Ahsoka Tano bunny ears, and on Lost Gray, no bunny ears. And let's show you the other side of these hilts. And there we go. So they both have cover tech wheels, yada yada yada, and everything looks pretty much the same. So As far as weight goes, well, obviously, the Lost Gray is lighter. Because it's smaller. Less mass. The less mass you have, the lighter you are. And what else is there to say? Well, I would say that they're both reasonably comfortable in the hand. They're not excessively heavy. I would say that the Fulcrum's going to probably wear on you a lot quicker than the Lost Gray will. It's a much heavier piece. I don't have the means to weigh them. That's one of the things I should probably get as a scale. Rarely does anybody tell you how much these things weigh. If I have a scale, that'll give me an edge over the competition, and you'll come to me and you'll be able, basically, how much does this thing weigh? And I'll be able to tell you it weighs 12.8 ounces exactly, and then people will be able to plan their day according to that information. Sorry, went off on a tangent. This one's a lot lighter, a lot more comfortable. Less greebles, less thingy-doos on the hilt to kind of grind into your hands. So you have that going on for you. So you just take another look at these things. There's really not much to say about these. They're Ultrasabers. They're large. Their electronics are woefully outdated. You get the I still can't remember if it's 6 or 7 sound fonts plus mute. And you get lockup, clash effects, ignition, blade retraction, and hum. You can swap out the sound fonts on these if you have the acumen to do so. I don't as yet have the skill to do that. I can install CFX fonts. I've learned how to work with Asteria. I can change Golden Harvest sound fonts. There's a lot of things I've learned how to do recently, but I have not learned how to install fonts on these things. I mean, I can do it if the fonts are already pre-formatted, but it's a little bit of a time-consuming process. So, I tend to skip and just go with the defaults. I'm not that adventurous. So why don't I switch over to relative night vision in here and show you how these things look in relative darkness. All right? And again, on the left, since I've altered my angle here, on the left is the Fulcrum that has a mid-grade Ultra Edge blade. Okay. On the right-hand side, I have Custom Saber Shop Show blade, also kind of a mid-grade, and that tends to have a little bit more thickness to the walls of the blade, so it makes the blade look a little bit thinner, kind of like Rebels, sorta, kind of. Whereas with the Ultra Edge, you get more of a full look to them. And I'll give you another angle. By the way the light hits the tip of the blade, how full the lightness is on each blade. The Ultrasaber's Ultra Edge blade performs a little bit better for brightness, but I really like the way aesthetically the light looks on the Custom Saber Shop blade. It looks more natural to me. And here's the emitter sections on each. The lockup looks. Now let's do some clashes. Can't do them simultaneously because, well, they're clashes and there's only one of me. Sorry, it is daylight outside, but I've tried to make it as dark as I can in here. But I think I've done nighttime demos for each of these, so just look for those in my my catalog of past videos, and that will hopefully sate your needs. But here we go. Let's do this. Okay, let's see if it looks any better on the Lost Gray. Just gonna do ignition and retraction. I don't remember what sound font this is. It's just sort of a basic Canon sound font. Very loud. The pommels are identical. The resonance of each of them more or less is identical. Much wraps up my review of the Lost Gray and the Fulcrum. So as far as a pair of Ahsoka Tano's, you could do worse, I think. I'm not a big fan of the well, I don't think they have a force effect variety of this, but then again, I don't collect the force effects, so I don't really know what's available. Ultrasabers being as expensive as they are for what you get now, the cost to value is kind of non-existent at this point, but then again, there aren't too many Ahsoka Tano style sabers out there, so you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, you can get a pair of these, or you can get a more expensive pair from one of the more high-end builders. Other than that, anybody like the patch store, they were selling, I think they were called snips, and they were not installed, and they were fairly expensive, and then you would have to send them out to be installed. So as far as Tanos go, currently this is sort of one of the only games in town, and for me it took quite a while to receive these. I think it was anywhere between 5 and 6 months, so that was kind of a nightmare. But I believe that Jedi Phoenix just ordered a pair of these and received them in short order in a matter of days, so that situation has probably changed. There are a lot of channels out there that'll recommend not buying from Ultrasabers. I'm kind of one of them. It just so happens that I've sort of changed my tune with Ultrasabers as far as ordering directly from them just recently, and these were ordered before I had decided to kind of, I guess, stop ordering from them. I do like the hilts, I do like the sabers, but for what they cost to buy them new, it's just not worth it anymore. I'd rather pick them up secondhand, and that's just the way I roll. So I don't have any problems with the sabers themselves, but the practices of the company and everything else that I just said that I'm not going to repeat. Yeah, that kind of limits, I guess it limits my dedication to them that I maybe once had a year ago or more. But at any rate, I do enjoy these hilts. I think they're fine. And I'll leave it at that. So if you have any questions, you can hit me up in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer your questions to the best of my abilities. Otherwise, hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the weekend. May the Force be with you, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.